All right, in this video, I have 6 tips that you need to know for your Stomp HXL foot switches, Snapshot, things you need to know for workflow. And this is all inspired by Joe Griffith Music. He left a comment over on YouTube. He said this, random question. If anyone can help, it's a way on my HX Stomp XL to turn on the unit straight into Snapshot mode. Mine always goes into preset mode first, then I have to manually change it into Snapshot mode, which I don't want to do. Joe, I feel you. Let me show you something. So we need to go to global settings. We're going to page left, page right, then page over, global settings. Then we're going to go over to foot switches, and we have all these pages here. If you go to the middle page, we have Snapshot mode toggle, which is what it's set on right now, and that's what you're going to want to put it on. We also have latch, and we have moment. Let's see what these do. Exit. If I hit mode, it goes straight to presets. These are 4 different presets. I don't want to do that. Neither does Joe. Let's go back to our global settings and put this on latch. This is going to help us get to Snapshot mode, but then it's going to go back to preset mode and still not really what we want. If you hit this, but then you leave the mode, it goes back to preset mode and it's back in preset. That's also not what we want. Let's go back to global settings, put that on toggle. Just as you saw, even though it was in preset mode, it went to Snapshot mode. I can pull up all my different snapshots. I can go away from it, come back, and it's still on Snapshot. Now, let's turn it off and see if it stays. I really don't know the answer to this question. We shall see. I didn't test this yet. By the way, when is the new update gonna happen? I thought it was gonna happen this past Thursday, and it didn't happen. That means it's coming. It's coming soon. Okay, it's in preset mode. It stayed in preset mode. Let's go to global settings and see what happened. So we have to toggle it the first time. Once it's on, then we can leave it and it won't ever go back to preset mode. But it sounds like, Joe, every time you boot up your HX Stomp, you're gonna have to turn it off, leave that setting where it is on toggle. You'll have to do this to get it where you want it, and then it'll stay there while it's on. A little frustrating. I wish it would just stay there when it booted up, but that's what we have. This brings us to number 2, and this is just a workflow that I always do. I could have started here, but I wanted to answer Joe's question first, and that is, let's go to global settings, setting our foot switches here. Let me just show you. Foot switches here to Snapshot up and down. See this right here? I'm scrolling through snapshots there. That way, if I'm in preset mode, I'm back to preset mode, I can see all my presets if I want to switch quickly, and I can still stay in that preset and scroll through my snapshots that way. That way I have access to my snapshots and I have access to presets. That solves the problem for me. Which leads to number 3, and one of the things that was so frustrating to me at first, and I think it finally came out in an update, was that this under foot switches swap up and down was default off, and I don't think it was an option to change it to on. If it was, I just didn't know about it till later. But I like this on, and I'll tell you why. Go back home, Snapshot 1. As I'm playing live, I want to hit this bottom because that's the one that's closest to my foot, and I want it to scroll up through my snapshots. I don't want to have to reach all the way up here to go up. And so I like to swap those to on. But if your brain doesn't work that way, make sure it's off. And if you're hitting the bottom button, it will scroll down, which kind of makes sense. I understand that, but they know some people like me, their brains work the other way, or at least they want their foot to just stay down here, and I can just scroll through snapshots, boom, just like that. And I go up snapshots by hitting down. A little weird, but it's kind of like the video game thing. I'm like inverted video game player. Like if I'm playing first person, I pull back to want to look up, and my kids are like, that's the weirdest thing ever. And I'm like, well, it's kind of common sense to me. Like if you've ever driven a Bobcat or something, it's like you know, it's just, and the phone thing. A lot of people are different. Like if you look here, if you're scrolling up or scrolling down, I want my trackpad on my laptop to do the same thing. But some people, they want to pull down for the page to go up. No, if I want the page to go up, I want to scroll down. I want to push up because I'm like, it's just like your phone. Okay, you know, it's the same thing. Anyways, I digress. Now, number 4 is something I've never done. I've never played with it live, but I found this setting. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's see what it is. So let's put this thing back in the snapshot mode that we had. Boom, toggle. That way we're in snapshot mode. You can see what we have. And I have it set up where I want to show you. So what we need to do is go to global settings, come over here to foot switches, and go to the 3rd page. And this snapshot select can either be reload or toggle. Let me put it on reload and show you. If it's reload, if I hit number 1, I'm already on 1. It just stays on 1. It reloads the snapshot. Number 2 stays on 2. 3 stays on 3. 4, you get it. That's normal. That's the way I've always used it, okay? But if we put this to toggle, wherever I go next, if I hit that same snapshot again, it will toggle back to wherever I was before. So I'm gonna go from 1 to 2, but now if I hit 2 again, it's gonna jump back to 1. If I go to 3 or 4, it's gonna go back to 1. Or 3 to 4. I don't know if you would use that or not. I don't know if my brain works that way, but if your brain works that way, if that solves some problems for you, then there you go. That might be useful for you. Now, number 5 is if you want to have even more foot switches. The beauty of the HX Stomp XL is that we have all these foot switches. The main limitation of the regular HX Stomp is that you have to do even more workaround to try to get all this. But if you want to open up the possibilities even more and use a 2 foot switch changer right here, then you get a TRS cable, you put it in expression 1 and 2, or actually foot switch 7 and 8, but you have to make sure that your global setting is set up properly. So let's go to global settings again. We'll go over to preferences, scroll over 1 page, and we want to make sure that these are set to foot switch 7 and 8. That way you can take advantage of this and open up the HX Stomp XL even more. One more bonus thing I just thought of now that I'm filming this, I didn't write it down, but if you go over to global settings, go to foot switches, you can either be in 4 switch stomp mode or 6 switch stomp mode. If you take it to 4 and go home, then you can access your foot switches here and still do your snapshots. Then you go over to mode, except I put it back on snapshot mode. But if that would go to preset, you could switch preset and then still hit your snapshots, toggle mode again, foot switches and snapshots. That's the best way. That's what I do. That way I have access to snapshots, foot switches, and presets when that is set to preset mode. Make sense? Now, number 6, things to remember. The reason snapshots versus preset is even a thing is because you get spillover with snapshots, but you don't get that with presets. What do I mean by that? Well, if you play, you strum a chord and you switch presets, that sound is going to cut out while it loads up the next preset. That's not so with snapshots. And so what I like to do mostly is just stay on a snapshot. No, I mean, just stay on a preset and use snapshots per song. So I could have 4 snapshots. I can have 4 different songs, and then I can just be in foot switch mode and toggle what I want to, kind of like a regular pedal board. And that way, when I switch snapshots, like down here, I'm on song 1, I could be 83 BPM, boom. Then I could be 96 and 120 and 140. And that way my delays will sync up depending on what snapshot I'm on to the song that I'm on. Now you have to have your global settings set up properly. So let's go to global settings. We'll come all the way over here to MIDI tempo. Come over here to tempo select. You either have snapshot, preset, or global. Set it on snapshot. That way tempo, your BPM will be different per snapshot. You just have to save it that way. Now, if you want more help, you can download for free right now my Tone Secrets Guide for the HX Stomp XL, the HX Stomp, the Helix, or there's even one for the Pod Go. If you happen to be watching this and you have a Pod Go too, download my free gift to you. It's my Tone Secrets Guide. It's a PDF full of pictures and description on how to set up your unit so you can sound good by this Sunday. Go grab that for free. Also, if you want to help support the channel, I also make presets for all these devices. I have 2 different packs. I have my Expanse pack, which is an ever-growing collection of presets. It's got tons of presets in there, just gobs of presets, a lot of good ones. Some are just toys, some are just playing things. Sometimes I'll be in a video and just messing with some settings and I'll throw that preset in there. Or if you get overwhelmed by having tons of presets that you get free updates on and you don't want free updates, you just want like 10 premium presets, that's where my Sunday Ready pack comes in. It's just 10 premium presets with custom IRs and all of that. I even have Sunday Ready for bass, and I'm working on Sunday Ready for acoustic. I say I'm working on it. It's on my to-do list. I've worked on it a little bit, but I need to speed up. Let me know down in the comments if you are really waiting on an acoustic HX Stomp or Helix presets, or even Pod Go for that matter. Let me know. And then there's also some tone match presets. You can view all that down in the description. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.